Good morning, everyone. It is time for Coffee and Questions. One of my favorite things to do is actually answer questions live. That's why I like the LTS's, live training sessions. The last aspect of those are always a Q&A with Dad and I and Vicky. That's one of my favorite things to do. So I do every once in a while when someone calls in, I grab the phone and I just film the whole thing so I can post it to you guys later if I think it'll be of value to you. Here's one that I did, I don't know, a month or two ago with Roy and Christy Smith. And it was some really cool stuff on marketing and selling and some of the problems he was having and just some of my thoughts on that. So I'm thinking this might be valuable for you guys. So check it out. Here it comes. And oh, by the way, watch it clear until the end because we have a brand new outro that my buddy Mike Caruso put together for us. So it's some clips of one clip when I was about one little snapshot when I was like 13 or 14, something like that, and Dad kind of watching me carve. And anyway, this will be an outro that we'll be using on the channel from now on. So again, thanks everybody for watching, and here comes that live Q&A right now.
Book and liked it, and all of a sudden she became Dave's friend, and I got jealous because I never got Dave's friend. So it's like, wow.
Who's this Dave guy?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That's terrific. So you guys been watching for how long?
Oh my gosh, I want to say about 3 years. I think.
Yeah, at least 3 years.
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate that. So, Christy, you know we're filming, right?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah. No, we're all good. So, you got questions? Fire away. I am ready.
Well, I one of the things that I had that kind of confused me or baffled me was happened earlier this summer. In my email, I explained to you that 2016 was pretty good. I mean, I made a business sign for a friend of mine who owns a maple syrup business, and I made quite a few signs during the summer here. And then last year we had about maybe 3 signs total that I made, and it's like it was a complete downfall.
Okay.
I have a website. I have it set up, and of course with my gmail.com email. Got it all up because we plan on moving south in a couple of years. And so when I retire from the paper mill up here, we can just move and everything's still functional.
Gotcha.
And, so we went to an apple orchard back in May of last summer, and I talked to them about making signs and selling them there, and they thought it was a great idea. Well, back in August, I thought, well, it'd be a good time to make a few signs, so I made about 10 of them. And we went down to the apple orchard there, and they said, "Oh, we don't have any room for any signs."
Oops.
Yeah, so I went to another apple orchard because we have a big apple industry up here in the North Country, located here in New York, and went to there, and they just opened up a 10,000 square foot store. So we talked with them, and before we talked with them, I looked around, and there were some signs there, but they were stencils, spray-on stencils.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
There's competition, but nothing like what I do. So I looked at it. If somebody had the same stuff, then I wouldn't even bother.
Right.
And,
yeah.
So we went in and we talked to them, and the lady said, "Well, yeah, it's just, we'd be interested, but we'll have to talk to our board trustees." I said, "No problem." So about a couple weeks later, I get a phone call from them, and they asked me, said, "What would you like to do? You know, how would you sell your signs?" And I said, "Well," I said, "it's up to you." I said, "My prices are there." I said, "Either you can take a commission off the price, or you can add your commission to the price. It doesn't matter to me." And they said, "Okay, well, we'll get back to you." Well, they never did.
Okay. Okay.
And my question is, am I doing something wrong about not being right straight blunt with them? Say, "Hey, this is my price," and how do you go about talking to them about the commission? My signs were they were less than a square foot, so they were less than what I charge. I charge $40 a square foot. I'm not afraid to mention that's my base price.
Yeah.
They're between $20 on all the signs, and the ones that in the email that I sent you, that was basically the ones that I had made.
Okay.
Upwards.
Okay.
This is I've seen, so.
Yeah, I've got a couple thoughts on that. First of all, when you talked to them and you gave them the option of them that that your price, you gave them the price, and then you gave them the option that they could take their commission. If I understood this right, they could take their commission out of that price, or they could add to the price. Add on to what your retail price, and that was a little confusing to me. So I'll kind of go over how we normally did it. We normally would give them a suggested list price, and that's kind of a terminology that's used a lot. So this is our suggested list price, and your price, what the dealer will pay you, is discounted off of that. So let's say it was a $40 sign, and that's what you think it'll sell for. Okay, or actually, we could even make it a $20 sign. Let's make it a $20. The math works out better. So let's say that you think it's going to be a $20 retail item, and then what you have to have for it, that's so the discounts will be off of that $20 list price or suggested retail price. And then so let's say you've got to have you're going to give them a 40% discount, which would be how much would that be? That would be down to $12. That means you would get 12, they would get 8. Is that right? That's 40%, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and a lot of times, and again, it's been a while since I was kind of in this world, but it was easy for them to figure out, especially on items that are fairly inexpensive and not real super custom. Are these, Roy, these stock signs? So like, say, Home Sweet Home or Mom's Apple Pie or whatever?
Yes, they were.
Yeah. So on that, it's pretty easy to say, okay, this is what I got to have out of it. If you got to have $15 and then mark them up, and again, a standard industry back then was 40%. And so we would say, all right, we got to have this much out of this sign. This got to be our net, what we're going to get for it. And so based on that, 40% above that would be the suggested list. And again, you have to bear in mind what the market will bear, what people will pay for the sign itself. So, and so the only variation or deviance from that we would do is if it was something that was outside the norm of what we normally did. Let's say somebody came in and wanted a big ranch sign, and it was going to be 2 foot by 4 foot or something like that. Then we would quote the dealer. We'd still sell it through the dealer. We would quote the dealer a net price of what we had to have for it, and then they could add on. A lot of times they would add on just maybe 10 or 20% because it's a bigger ticket item. You see what I... Yeah, so I think what happened was, in this particular instance, I think because you kind of like went back and forth on it, it would have been more professional to say, hey, listen, this is our suggested list on it. We think this thing will sell all day long at 20 or 25, and your discount is 40 off of that. That gives us 12 or 14, whatever it works out.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. So I gave him a little bit too much leeway there, because
exactly.
I got thinking maybe my prices were too low, and they thought, because we showed them some signs, and we actually, I don't want to say we strong-armed them, but we actually made them come out to look at some of the signs that I made, just to let them know this is the quality of work that I do.
Right.
And they were impressed with it. They liked it, but I don't know if they thought that I was just charging too low, or... Because I told them up front what the prices of them were when they first looked at them.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, and that can be the case sometimes. Sometimes you can price too low that they don't put a value on it. Maybe they think that you're buying them in bulk from China or something. They just don't put a value. So you definitely can price yourself too low for the market. So you kind of have to do some market research out there. Go to Etsy and Pinterest and some of these places that have a lot of carved signs, and not necessarily that you have to copy what they do or write in stone what they're charging, but at least it gives you a feel for what the market might bear. And again, a lot of times location will come into play. Like, for instance, we were in Northern California, but we were over in the valley where it was a lot of farmland and that kind of thing. Our prices over there, our signs would sell, 6x24 would sell $35-40, but yet we would have a dealer that was in Carmel or Monterey over on the coast, big tourist area. They'd get $50 or $60 for the same sign. We still got what we wanted as far as that extra markup was was their profit. They had extra profit, so they were making 50 or 60% on the sign. But then they live in Monterey and like Pacific Beach and that kind of area. So we just got what our net was, and then if they wanted to add up above suggested list, that suggested list is just that. It's just a suggested list. They can sell them for whatever they want, as long as we get what our price is for them, our net.
Okay. Well, I had, I had a friend of mine at work. He suggested that, he said you ought to go to Lake Placid, which is about 45, 50 miles from here, from where we live. And he said, you ought to get there, and they have some stores down there, and check out to see what they have. And he said, there might be a store down there that might be interested in selling your sign. And I thought, yeah, that's a good idea, but how do I justify driving 55 miles away?
You got to make your time as productive as you can. So let's say it is 50 or 55 miles away. What I would do is I would make a list of places that I want to hit, so that you're not just going down there and looking around trying to find places. I literally would map it out, and maybe there's 3 or 4 places you want to hit on the way. And make your time. If you're going to do that, just make your time as productive as possible, and time efficiency. You see what I'm saying?
Correct.
Yeah. So and Lake Placid, like where the Olympics were, right?
Yeah.
So is that a big tourist area, I assume?
Oh, it's terrible. I shouldn't say that. It is. Yes, it is.
But there's people there with money, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that might be, just depending on your geographical area of what you've got available to sell in your area. 50 or 55 miles away doesn't seem to be an exorbitant amount. I know I've talked to guys that are driving hundreds of miles away to get to a city where the market might better suit what they're doing. And again, making it efficient, go on Google and find out how many different stores might want to look at your stuff, and walk in there with a sign in your hand and just knock their socks off as soon as they meet you.
Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. I was going to go up to a local RV retailer. We just bought a fifth wheel from last summer, and I was going to go up and talk with them again and see if they'd be interested in selling signs or giving signs to people that they sell RVs to. Absolutely.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to be doing a video very soon. My son is starting to go after the niche of real estate brokers and agents. And what you're talking about is basically just, rolling real estate in essence, people that are buying motorhomes and trailers and stuff, and signs make an absolutely ideal thank you gift kind of thing. So I think that's the way I would approach that. Absolutely.
Same thing with real estate up here too. We've got a number of realtors here too, and I haven't had a chance to talk with them. To be honest with you, I work a word shift at work, still full time. I work 2 days on, 2 days off, 12-hour shift.
Okay.
Every other weekend I work Monday through Friday, and then every 2 weeks I rotate from day shift to night shift. So.
Oh boy. Yeah.
So yeah.
I think you've got lots of opportunity around you. It's just you're gonna have to go after it. That's the thing. Until you get to the point where you've got enough out there where it kind of starts flowing back to you. But until then, you're gonna it's just a matter of getting out there. Now, could you do some of it online? Of course you could. You could sell some of it online, but there's nothing quite like getting that sign in people's hands so they can feel it, touch it, and all of that.
Yeah. And the other thing, not to be long-winded on this, the other thing I have, when I plane my lumber down, I plane it down just to where it's just smooth enough to be able to work. And that gives me about a 7/8 of an inch board thickness.
Yeah.
Wrapped 3/4. So it does one or two things, and I'm not proud to admit it. One, it gives a good-sized, heavy-duty sign to somebody when they do get it. They realize that, it's somewhat, bulkiness to it.
Yeah.
And it kind of prevents the curve warping to a little bit.
Right.
Two, if I up, I run it through the planer again.
That's what I was going to say. Man, you're winning all the way around because you still got something to play with in case you have to take that surface down and recarve it. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. And there's a big difference feel between 3/4 and 7/8. It doesn't seem like much, but there's a big difference there.
Yes, there is.
It feels massive.
Yes.
Yeah. So people that are working with full dimensional lumber like you are, and I've got several people that have access to sawmills, and the other cool thing about that is if you need a special size board, a lot of times they can mill something to your specs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I asked him about live edge wood, and he made some up for his daughter. She was going into the sign making, a different aspect. She did wood burning, and started complaining to him about the live edge. It wasn't wide enough or whatever. And I can't repeat what he told her, but so he said, "You want some of this, Roy?" He said, "Go ahead and." I'll knock a couple cents off. And he gave me a few of them almost practically free, live edge wood. And I just cut one up yesterday to figure out what I wanted to do with it.
Yeah.
But it's so stringy, and I don't know how to deal with that. Pull it off, and hopefully I can leave some of the bark on there still, but it's pretty stringy.
Yeah, because that live edge stuff right now, man, there is nothing hotter than the live edge, either signs or tables or whatever. I just got back from Atlanta, and everybody back there was talking about slabs and live edge stuff, and we got some plans. Actually, I'm kind of letting the cat out of the bag a little bit, but we got some plans in that direction that's coming up soon. But the live edge stuff, man, it is it's crazy popular right now.
Yeah. I had one question about the Poron that you use.
Yeah.
What would you add percentage-wise if somebody wanted that Poron put on a sign? What would you add extra? I add $10 extra for doing painting. Over the standard, but if somebody wanted to do Poron, I priced out the chemical, how much it costs and everything.
Yeah.
Would you add the price of the chemical on there plus the labor, or how would you do that?
That's a tough one because it does take extra time. There's definitely extra labor, and you got to be careful with it. And you got it's kind of a one-shot deal. If you mess it up, you're pretty much starting from scratch. So that coming into play, and the cost of the stuff. I think if somebody wanted a pour-on epoxy finish on a sign rather than, I guess it would depend on the size of the sign. If the sign is the size of my bench top, then it would be, a lot more extra than if it's a 6x24 sign. But I would think that you would at least add, at least probably $10 to $15 a square foot, I would think.
Okay.
I'm kind of just shooting from the hip there, but I would think $10 to $15 a square foot if they want the epoxy finish.
There is one that you might want to look into. I've known it for years, and it's for marine grade. It's called West System.
Oh, yeah. West Systems. Now, I haven't used West Systems, but I've seen a lot of it. And if it's marine grade, then maybe it is. Maybe they do have. I haven't gone there, but I've seen some of the other YouTubers. I know Mark Spagnola and a couple other guys. I've seen them use the West Systems.
Yeah, I watched Mark. As a matter of fact, I was watching before I called you.
Were you? He's such a cool dude. I got to meet him 3 times, and made a sign for him. Went to his shop. And matter of fact, not very many people know this, but the lavalier mic I'm using and the camera that we use, I bought from Mark.
Oh, very good.
Yeah,
very good.
Yeah. He was upgrading to a DSLR, and I had just been a month prior. I had been down to his shop, and I was drooling, of course, all over his camera. It was embarrassing. And so then, when he was getting ready to sell it to upgrade, he called me and wanted to know if I wanted to buy it. And I said, "Oh boy, do I?" So yeah, the camera we've been using for the last year and a half, and the microphone we bought used from Mark.
Oh, very good.
He's such a great guy, terrific guy, and he's a king in the industry, obviously. Everybody looks up to him. Yeah.
Well, I thank you, Eric. I appreciate it, and I don't want to hold you up anymore because I know you have timelines and everything for your release.
Yeah. Well, I hope that I was able to help and answer your questions, and I sure appreciate you guys watching for so long and all the support.
Oh, I actually have a TV down in my woodworking shop tied into Wi-Fi, and I do watch. If I get stumped on a project down there, I'll click on YouTube and bring you guys right up and watch it right there in the shop. I have an old surround sound system in there. Yeah, Pandora, the whole works down there.
Oh, that's cool. Very cool. Yeah, I'm thinking I might get something out here like that in my studio, not to watch myself because that would just make me ill, but watch some of the other guys. I just spent 4 days in Atlanta with guys like Jimmy DiResta and some of the biggest makers in all of in the world, really. Yeah, Mark wasn't there, but man, there was a bunch of people there, and these guys were just. I've been watching them for years, so it was really cool. It was really neat.
Good. Yeah.
All right, my friend. Well, Christy, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
We'll try to get back in touch with you some other time here.
Yeah, and absolutely, and let me know how it goes with the over in Lake Placid and some of the other things. And like I say, if you have any questions at all on the dealer stuff or pricing or anything like that, don't hesitate. Just let me know.
I will, and I thank you very much on that.
You're absolutely welcome. Anything I can do to help.
Okay.
Okay, you've been helpful. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye. Okay, so that was Roy Smith and Christy, and they're obviously back in New York. So I love doing this kind of, live question and answer stuff. So hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll probably, maybe edit this down so it's not so long and drawn out. But I thought there were some great questions there, some really good information that I think you guys could benefit from. So thanks again, guys, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.